Wow, Wave 4 revamped. Who saw this coming? So yeah, I did all the Wave 4 tracks. I wasn't originally going to. I really felt like there were some tracks that I just did not want to do. I did them. It's crazy. But now with Wave 4 being fully here and, you know, actually finding some little improvements to do on the even phenomenal tracks, I was like, hey, let's just do it. So here we are. Let's do it. All right, so some things I want to mention before we go ahead and do this is, number one, if you're here in the comments just to be a douche, I would like to kindly introduce you to a concept of go fuck off. Anyways, that's all I have to say. Let's get into it. So yeah, Amsterdam Drift. This one is kind of one of the more minor ones. Actually, it's not super minor. I did end up using normal game trees. Another thing I did was the flowers, and overall a lot of it's going to be very similar concepts to the other Booster Course Pass tracks, like, you know, the other city tracks, because I mean the city tracks themselves have improved, but like not significantly compared to other tracks. So like that's one thing you're going to see, is probably a lot of the city tracks are still going to have very similar upgrades. Although I did later down the wave, when we had the next two city tracks, I'll explain that I did not replace the trees there, mostly because of laziness, but just wanted to throw that out there. But for now, it's mostly just very small detail stuff, like more so like just giving like the buildings slightly more texture. That's kind of the type of thing I was doing. It's not anything like, oh my god, this is actually incredible type thing. Like, this track is pretty average. And oh, another thing I want to mention is, I think all but one or two tracks, all but two tracks, I did replace the skybox. I think it was two. Yeah, it's two. I replaced the skybox on 6 tracks, so you know, that's fun. But yeah, so most tracks are just exactly the same, like, you know, nothing big, nothing to sneeze at per se. But like the skyboxes are definitely up there. Like some of them, okay, let me explain what I mean about the skyboxes being changed, because some people don't like my skybox changes, but I have some reasonings for it. The big thing with the skybox changes is a lot of the skyboxes from Mario Kart Tour / DLC, it might just be a me thing. It could totally just be a me thing, in fact, but I just prefer the base game skyboxes, because the clouds, I just really like the skybox from the base games. Like, oh, base games, sorry. Like, I just feel like the base game skyboxes just all of them are really good. So that's why I like to just keep the concepts for them. So yeah, just thought I'd throw that out there. Riverside Park. I know this one wasn't really in dire need of an upgrade, and I completely understand that. I actually really wanted to not do this one. In fact, I have a story about this one. So when I was in the process of doing this one, I kept having a crash happen, and this is the first version that you're seeing right here that doesn't crash. And I was like, I'm not touching this again. Like, I was scared to touch it again. So, you know, this is what you're getting, sadly. Like, I want to upgrade it more, but I am scared as hell that it will still crash. So I hope it understands, but there's some stuff I do like about this still. Like, I like the rocks. Like, they're still shiny-ish. I don't really know how they made it. I think it's specularness, but like, there's more. I actually used the texture from like a Mario Galaxy like visual upgrade for the emulator. Like, there's this 4K texture pack from Mario Galaxy, and I was like, you know, that would actually work well for what I'm going for. So like, I decided to apply the rock texture to the rocks. Other than that, there's not a lot of differences. It's basically that. I think I did like lower some of the edge lighting and like the trees. Oh, I did the trunks. I didn't really like the trunks on the original, so I used another Mario Galaxy HD texture. I don't really know what each one's from. I am sorry, but that was one design choice I decided to do as well, and I kind of like it personally. I feel like it looks slightly better. This track is like just very minor, and you know, it makes sense. The track really didn't need much. Oh, I did actually replace the skybox on this one with a slightly, ever so slightly different one. Like, if you were paying attention, like, or if you didn't know, like I just told you that, chances are you probably wouldn't even be able to tell. Like I think it's a same skybox, but just like slightly recolored, if that makes sense. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. But yeah, that's Riverside Park. It's basically the same thing. So, you know, that's that. DK Summit is one I thought I would struggle with, but like I actually found a way to make it work. And you guys can kind of tell from here, it's the rock, like not Dwayne, but like the rock texture. Like it's because that's the, oh, and the skybox, but the rock texture is like, admittingly, not the greatest on the original, but I really wanted to kind of like make it a slightly more HD. Other than that, it's almost identical. Like I feel like the snow texture is about the same. Like I think I did replace the snow texture with something from like, I don't remember exactly where it's from. I don't even think it's from Mario Kart 8. I used a Mario Kart 8 custom track texture bit, but I know it's originally from somewhere else. But like, oh my god, I barely made that. But yeah, the snow texture is very similar, and the skybox is different. Oh, this is one of the first tracks I did not replace the trees on, and I actually have a reason for that. You see all of those trees back there? I do not want to replace every single one of those, and I hope that's understandable, because I just feel like that's just a little too much for me to just replace all the background trees, when really for the background they're fine. Like they're not going to do much. Like Snowland and Wave 2, sure, that had a little bit of trees, but like some of them you could literally interact with, like, but no tree here you can like really in bounds, like without going out of bounds, like try and like interact with. Does that make sense? So like on this track, I really just didn't see the need, because I mean, oh, I dodged a shock, but like while it was it could help, I just didn't want to risk like some weird like accident, like respawn bug or like something that isn't in the base game, just to replace trees that admittingly you aren't gonna really notice, because most of them are in the background anyways. So like I hope you understand my reasonings. I don't know why I threw that bomb, but yeah, oh my god, there's the bomb. What? It actually landed. Okay, that's funny. But yeah, other than that, DK Summit is basically the same. It's very similar, and you know, besides the small detail stuff, that's kind of what I had to go like try and figure out. Like the rocks were the only big thing that I really wanted to definitely change, and I think it came out nice. I really think it did. By the way, the skybox here is probably slightly dark, maybe, but like I used the skybox from Mount Wario, the texture, so just thought I'd throw that out there. Yoshi's Island, this one I'm actually kind of like digging, surprisingly. Like obviously in the base game it looks actually pretty good. Like I think it looks good. I don't think it's perfect, hence why this, but I think it looked good. So let me discuss some of the stuff I made here. First off, I don't know if this change will be controversial on this specific track, but I did replace the skybox just because I feel like the skybox is one of the few like defining features of like a track, or not defining, but like can definitely help a track. Like if you saw my Sky High Sunday, the clouds alone just help a lot in the background, and I feel like it does a very similar thing here. Obviously it is not perfect. Like look at this, it isn't perfect, but like the grass and stuff is also there. I did add the snow texture to the snow part as well, and yeah, overall I really like this track in general. I mean, it's probably my favorite Mario Kart track if I had to be honest now. But another thing I really enjoy about this track is the rocks, actually. Like I don't know what it is. Let's get into the cave, because like I'm pretty sure the cave is going to you might have noticed the difference like here, but I feel like the added detail to the rock actually surprisingly worked out well for me. Like I didn't think it'd work out. Oh, I think I knew it'd be okay, but like look at the volcano. I really like that for some reason. I also died, but you know, that's kind of on the agenda. The one thing I would improve is the cloud we just glided on. Like yeah, it's a cloud, it looks fine, but like I don't know, I just feel like the cloud and came out weird. I still think it's a little better than like what we had before, but I am a lazy bum right now just because I have been, it took me it's constant 2 days of grinding to do this, so like you can give me a break, I hope, but like it's been 2 days since the DLC. No, okay, technically 3 now. No, okay, it's 2.5. We'll go with 2.5 as of recording this, but like the DLC, I've been grinding on all these. So speaking of which, I hope you if you enjoy this, please subscribe. I know it's very soon that I did this, and I don't really want to touch this project again for a while. Also, damn it, I missed it all 3 laps, but like, yeah, I just hope you do enjoy the content, at least, even if you don't enjoy this. So take a sec to subscribe if you like it. Bangkok Rush. I actually really like this track in general, but this is another track I decided to revamp and not exactly like do much to it. Like, this was the last one I actually did, like not in when I say the last one I actually did, I don't mean like chronologically, I mean just in general. Like, this is the last one I did. Like, I think I did Singapore before I did this. This is the last one out of all the Wave 4 ones I did. That's what I'm trying to say. And you know, you can kind of tell I started getting lazy, but like, I mean, there's still grass, and the rock, actually, the rock is combined with a bunch of other textures. Like, it's the same texture. So I'm just sitting there like, I don't want to touch that. I do not want to do that. Also, palm trees, just Singapore's got the same thing, but I didn't replace any of the trees here, but I still think they look fine. It's just, I actually kind of prefer how the trees will look on Singapore compared to like putting them as base game trees, in my opinion. I feel like they're just more I feel like in the retexture, I'd rather just keep those trees. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that part out there. But yeah, like, there's not big difference on some of these. Like, it's basically just small minor details on this one as well. And yeah, I mean, other than that, I don't have much to say about this one. It's just very minor. Oh, and the skybox is pretty different. I think the next one, no, the last 2 tracks are the only tracks without skybox changes, I should say. By the way, I still hate this section here. I feel like it's the dumbest section to put in a track. Might just be a me thing, but I don't really like how they treated that. So like, it reminds me of a Mario Kart Wii custom track where they had there's one of the volcanic skyways. I think it was Volcanic Skyway 3 that had the hotel section. If you know what I'm talking about, it sucked. I didn't like that, but you know, this is fine. It was shorter. DS Mario Circuit. I already did a video on this one specifically. However, I did update some things since then. That I said in that video was more of a work in progress, and yeah, so I just want to kind of mention what I did. First thing you can easily tell is I actually did end up reverting these trees because I got some comments that were very sarcastic about that. So, you know, and I kind of agree the trees look better, so that's why I did them. The trees in the forest yeah, it's a forest. I don't know why it's a forest, but it's a forest. Still look better, in my opinion. I prefer those trees to the base game trees, like here. But yeah, base DLC, but these are base, you know what I mean, the trees in the original version. And yeah, so this one I'm actually quite proud of. The only thing I would be kind of wanting to change now is actually the skybox. I feel like the skybox is just, I struggled to find a skybox for this one, and I still don't really like the original skybox, but I'm gonna just take with this one. I know it's not exactly like what I wanted to go for, but it worked. So I'm just gonna sadly have to live with it. Like, sometimes you just gotta live with what you got, you know? Like, I didn't really know what skybox to use, but so I just ended up keeping this one. Probably could have used like another one, but it's this one's from, I think, the Wii U Animal Crossing daytime one, or not daytime, summer one. I think I used the one from the summer. I don't actually know. I wonder if summer and spring use the same skybox. I'll have to look into that one day. But anyways, yeah, sorry, off topic. I will say these trees like look a lot more natural from wood texture. Obviously the seams there, but no one's gonna notice in game or when driving. Like, I feel like this wood texture, bark texture, actually, I thought like just having the original game bark texture, I think that one's from like one of like the old trees, actually, like the base game trees. It does help. It really does help with the trees. And you know, I obviously use the texture that I use on the grass because it makes sense in the context. But yeah, I think actually another thing besides the rock, I slightly recolored the sand. I don't really remember why, but I did. So I just wanted to throw that out there. The sand is slightly different, so just putting it out there. This one was the hardest one to think of stuff for. There are like two things that you can tell that I did if you look side by side with the original. One of them, let's discuss one of them, the road. I know the road didn't need much, but instead of making it less shiny or something like I'd usually do, I actually made it more wetter and more shinier, which actually kind of fits. Like, I didn't think it would look too great, but I love the road when it's just slightly more shinier, so that's nice. Oh, and okay, a third thing, the mud on the side. I just used the mud texture from like the mud right here on the left, but it actually still looks nice. I'm kind of shocked by that, but the third change I really wanted to just discuss is actually the rocks. Like, here's a good example. Like, it's the rock texture from what I've been using. Like, there was a rock texture in the original, but like it was actually, I think basically it's like a same concept of the rock texture, but it's the same rock texture, but like slightly recolored, and it's basically more noticeable that there's a texture there. Does that make sense? Also, I think the coloring for that just slightly stands out a bit more, so I do like that, but you know, that might just be a me thing. Like, this track in general is a really difficult one to find stuff to do. I think there are, like, I did think I do a good job for what I can do, but like overall this track was already phenomenal in the DLC. Like, if I didn't have experience on these retextures, honestly it would be difficult to find what I wanted to do on this one, and I'm glad I found my way of doing things. I'm glad I found a good way or a decent way to slightly improve this track. I know it's very slightly, but it's there. Barely, but it's there. Singapore Speedway, the last one. Thank God my voice is getting tired. Actually, I just woke up 2 hours ago and I just showered. You can probably tell by my hair, but yeah, Singapore. This one's also very minor. Like, you can definitely tell it's just mostly like small details. I actually really like the wood texture here used here on the bark, so that is one thing. But I mean, it's Singapore Speedway. It already looked really surprisingly good in the base game. I'm still shocked how it looked pretty good in the base game. Like, but yeah, no, grass texture down there with the soccer field, which, by the way, I really like how that came out. Like, I'm surprised the soccer field looks like that. I didn't realize you used the same texture as the regular grass, but you know, it makes sense. It does make sense. So like, yeah, I mean, other than like just grass, small details, kind of everything I've been rambling on about this whole I don't know how long the video is, 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes, we'll say. For however long I've been rambling on about for the last 15 to 20 minutes. Yeah, that's basically it. That. So there's not a lot different. And by the way, now would be a good time to say all of these will be online compatible, and there is a download in the description for those who want it, as long as the past 3 waves. The past 3 waves are also on there. So if you want to play this, look down below in the description below. Okay, well, that didn't rhyme. That was just the same exact, you know what I mean. Okay, moving on. But yeah, that's almost all I have for you. So yeah, that's kind of really all I have to say as well. So, you know, if you enjoyed the video, just please if you want to subscribe, that would be great. If you enjoyed this video as well, you can like it. That would also help. I like algorithm. And comment which one was your favorite. And if you have anything else to say, please end my suffering. That's all I have to say. Goodbye.